When trust breaks down, when the most sacred bonds become the darkest nightmares, it's essential to understand what happened. Today, we delve into a tragedy that has shaken our nation: the disappearance of Travis Decker. This isn't just a missing persons case. It's a mirror reflecting our society's vulnerabilities, and understanding it will guide us toward a safer tomorrow. Let's dive into the depths of this sorrowful tale and discover the societal flaws it reveals. But before we start, remember to hit that subscribe button, because your support helps us continue to expose uncomfortable truths. Now let's explore the darkness together. Who was Travis Decker? Travis Decker, a 32-year-old man living in Kashmir, Washington, appeared to be an ordinary individual leading an unremarkable life. He worked as a quality control specialist at a fruit processing plant and was well liked by his colleagues. To those who knew him, he seemed like just another regular guy trying to make his way in the world. But beneath the surface, there were cracks forming. In recent months, Decker had been going through a rough patch. His marriage was on the rocks, and his wife, Amanda Geiger, had left him, taking their 3 young daughters with her. The separation had taken a toll on him, and he had confided in friends that he was struggling to cope with the divorce and the reduced time he got to spend with his kids. Some friends noticed that he had started visiting a therapist to help him deal with the emotional turmoil he was experiencing. Decker's financial situation was also precarious. With his wife no longer by his side, he found himself solely responsible for paying the bills and providing for his daughters. He had recently lost his house and had been staying in a friend's basement while he looked for a new place to live. He was desperate to find a new home so that he could be closer to his children and be able to see them more often. Despite the challenges he was facing, Decker was still a devoted father who loved his daughters with all his heart. He missed them terribly and couldn't wait to have them back in his life. However, his attempts to reconcile with his wife had been unsuccessful, and she had made it clear that she did not want to get back together. Then came the incident at the Rock Island campground, the crime scene. What authorities found on the morning of June 2nd, 2025. Authorities received a call from a camper at the Rock Island campground in Leavenworth, Washington, who had found a silver Chrysler Pacifica minivan parked in the area for several days without anyone around. Concerned about the abandoned vehicle, the camper contacted park officials, who in turn notified the local police. As officers arrived at the scene, they noticed several strange things about the minivan. It had Washington license plate number CVR 2093, despite being parked in the same spot for multiple days. It was clean, and there was no sign of its occupants. This raised suspicion, prompting a closer investigation. As officers began searching the area around the minivan, they stumbled upon something that sent shockwaves through the community. Just a short distance away from the vehicle, they found the bodies of 3 young girls. The sight was both heartbreaking and disturbing. The victims were later identified as Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, the daughters of Travis Decker. What added to the grim nature of the discovery was the condition of the bodies and the evidence at the crime scene. While authorities have not released specific details about the state of the bodies, it's been reported that there were signs of a struggle, and that the deaths were not accidental. All this suggested a horrifying possibility. The three sisters hadn't run away. They had been taken from their home by their father, Travis Decker. The manhunt, a father on the run immediately after the discovery. Authorities launched a massive manhunt to locate Travis Decker, who was now the prime suspect in the case. Hundreds of officers from various agencies, including the FBI and local police departments, descended on the area to begin the search. Helicopters buzzed overhead, scouring the dense forest surrounding the campground. Cadaver dogs sniffed the ground, hoping to pick up Decker's scent. Divers searched the nearby river, leaving no stone unturned in their pursuit. A team of specially trained negotiators was brought in, hoping to make contact with Decker and convince him to surrender peacefully. But as days turned into nights, the search yielded no results. Decker seemed to have vanished into thin air. There was no sign of the missing father anywhere in the vast wilderness. Concerned about the safety of those involved and the potential danger posed by Decker, authorities issued an endangered missing person alert for the girls and a felony warrant for Decker's arrest. The FBI offered a substantial reward of $20,000 for any information leading to his capture. As the search continued, a sense of urgency grew among the residents of Kashmir. Many wondered how someone could evade authorities for so long. Others were troubled by the thought that the man responsible for the heinous crime could be lurking nearby, hiding in the shadows. Days have passed since the desperate search began, yet Travis Decker remains elusive. Every lead has turned up empty, and every theory has been called into question. As the clock keeps ticking, hope dwindles, raising a haunting possibility. Could Decker have managed to escape the dragnet entirely? Public reaction. Nationwide shock news of the missing girls and the frantic search for their father spread like wildfire, sending shockwaves across the country. People everywhere were stunned by the gravity of the situation, grappling to comprehend why a father would harm his own daughters. Social media platforms lit up with discussions, prayers, and demands for justice. Thousands of people shared the girls' pictures, hoping to amplify the search efforts and put pressure on authorities to find them. The tight-knit community of Kashmir was shaken to its core, mourning the loss of innocent lives and questioning how such a tragedy could befall their town. As the days passed without answers, fear began to grip many families. Parents clutched their children close, worrying about the safety of their own children. Even the most mundane activities, like playing outside or attending school, took on a new level of anxiety. The once carefree moments became tinged with fear as people grappled with the realization that evil could lurk in the most unexpected places. The case not only shook the community, but also exposed the fragility of life in modern times. It forced people to confront uncomfortable truths about the dangers that existed even in their own neighborhoods. The entire nation waited anxiously for any update on the case, hoping for a miracle but fearing the worst. As the investigation progressed, people began to examine the factors that could have led to such a horrific crime. Many questioned the role of domestic disputes and custody battles, urging for better support and resources for families in crisis. The case became a catalyst for a larger conversation about mental health, seeking professional help and the importance of addressing personal struggles before they escalated into unimaginable tragedies. It's a chilling reminder that evil can hide in plain sight, and that even in the most seemingly idyllic settings, darkness can prevail. Society's weaknesses exposed. This tragic case reflects significant weaknesses in contemporary society. Firstly, there are gaps in mental health support. While Decker sought therapy, the system seems to have failed to provide adequate care. This highlights the urgent need for more accessible and effective mental health services, especially for those in crisis. Secondly, custody disputes and family court proceedings often prioritize legal custody over the immediate safety of the children. This narrow focus can overlook the emotional and psychological well-being of the children involved. Courts must reevaluate their approach to ensure child safety is paramount in all custody decisions. Furthermore, the child protection system tends to be reactive rather than proactive. Agencies only step in when severe problems arise, instead of addressing underlying issues and providing support early on. This reactive approach leaves children vulnerable and at risk of harm. Lastly, there's a failure in community responsibility. Friends, neighbors, and acquaintances may notice concerning behaviors, but often hesitate to intervene or report them. This reluctance allows harmful situations to worsen without intervention. Impact on society. The disappearance of the sisters and their father has left profound and long-lasting impacts on society. Firstly, it has shaken families to their core. Parents now worry more than ever about their children's safety, even within their own homes. The realization that danger can lurk in familiar places has created a pervasive sense of fear and vulnerability. Secondly, it has challenged the trust between parents and children. Children are now questioning the actions and intentions of their parents, wondering if they could be at risk. This erosion of trust has created a chilling atmosphere of suspicion and anxiety within families. Thirdly, it has changed the way people view outdoor spaces. Places like parks, playgrounds, and hiking trails, once considered safe havens for families, are now tainted with fear. The knowledge that such tragedies can occur in these areas has transformed them into potential sites of danger in the public imagination. Fourthly, it has heightened the awareness of children. Young minds are now more attuned to the possibility of harm, and they're asking crucial questions about their own safety. This increased awareness has forced adults to confront difficult realities and take proactive measures to protect children. Finally, it has placed a spotlight on the role of the media. News outlets are now scrutinized for the way they cover such stories. With a growing demand for responsible reporting that prioritizes sensitivity and awareness over sensationalism. Solutions. How to prevent future tragedies, to prevent such tragedies from occurring in the future. We must take proactive steps to address the systemic issues that allowed this horror to unfold. Firstly, encourage early mental health support. Create a culture that promotes open discussions about mental health and provides readily accessible support for individuals in distress. Implement programs in schools and workplaces that offer counseling and therapy services to those who need it. Secondly, strengthen child safety monitoring during custody disputes. Equip family courts with the necessary tools and training to assess the safety of children in high-conflict cases. Mandate regular check-ins and safety assessments to ensure the well-being of the children. Foster collaboration between courts, child protective services, and mental health professionals to create comprehensive safety plans. Conclusion: learning from a tragedy. The tragedy of the disappearance of Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, and the subsequent manhunt for their father, Travis Decker, has sent shockwaves throughout the nation. This harrowing event not only serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life, but also exposes deep-rooted issues within our society. The case reflects a collective failure, highlighting gaps in mental health support, weaknesses in family court proceedings, limitations of the child protection system, and a general lack of community responsibility. In the wake of this tragedy, we must come together as a society to implement meaningful changes by investing in accessible mental health services, strengthening child safety measures, fostering community involvement, and promoting responsible media coverage. We can work toward preventing such horrors from repeating themselves. The memory of Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia should serve as a guiding light, inspiring us to create a safer and more compassionate world for all.